The following is gameplay footage from Alan Wake 2, running on a 4080 Super at 4K max settings including path tracing. This is the DLSS 4 update for Alan Wake 2, and the goal here is to see if there's a playable 4K path tracing experience to be had, so 60 FPS plus without using frame generation. So here we are with the Ultra Performance mode, and we're using the improved transformer model. And you can have a look at this and you can decide, is this playable or are there too many graphical issues for me to put up with it? So I'll pause here, and the reason I'm doing that is because there's one thing I want you to focus on here, and it's this branch here that I'm going to circle. Okay, so look at this branch here. You'll notice when I move backwards and forwards here that it's pretty stable. I mean, you can see the branch, it's got its detail. It's pretty dark scene, so I think this is a challenging scene for an AI model to do good quality upscaling with, because it's leaves upon leaves, it's leaves in front of pine needles, the colors are similar, it's pretty dark, so I think this is a tough job for an AI model to figure out and resolve individual leaves and so on. So that's the area I want you to highlight, and notice when I move backwards and forwards whether there's any graphical artifacts that you notice. So let's get this moving. Okay, we will now change to the CNN model, okay, the legacy CNN model. Now have a look. Look at everything there. I'm going to circle this again. Look at all that smearing and ghosting, okay? All these wavy lines that match my movement. Okay, it's very, very severe all the way around here. Less noticeable in other areas because that's obviously something that's contrasted with the background. But even though it's all very blurry looking here, there will be little bits of smearing and ghosting going on. It's just more difficult because it's in the background, and you know, there's less light and so on. So let's get rid of these and start playing on again and have a look. Okay, it's very, very severe. And the slower you go, the worse it is. Okay, just to prove that this is mostly down to the resolution, the low resolution, let's look at this using quality level upscaling and the old legacy CNN model. And you notice that because the internal resolution is pretty decent, okay, quality being 1440p at 4K, I didn't see any real ghosting issues that I worried about there. So again, going back now to the Ultra Performance mode with the transformer model, all looking pretty stable, no ghosting or anything like that. Now the one trade-off here is temporal instability and the fine details and aliasing on thin lines and so on. So you'll notice those branches there on that tree that's got no leaves. You'll notice that the aliasing is a little bit, you know, it's not too bad when you're stopped moving. Okay, so let me just highlight these are the branches I'm talking about, obviously. When you're static, it's not too bad. When you're in motion, it does alias a little bit. It gives it a slightly sparkly look, but it's not too bad. Everyone's mileage will vary. You may not like it at all. Some people may not even notice it. It's down to individual taste, like anything to do with graphics. So let's switch now to a slightly higher resolution. Now we've got performance, and now we're going back to ultra performance. Okay, so let's just go back there a little bit. This is performance. Okay, what do you think of that? And then switch to ultra performance now. Okay, do you notice much of a difference? Okay, I think ultra performance is in most cases here, not too bad. Is it worth the trade-off of 60 plus FPS? Or would you rather mid-40s and performance mode and less aliasing and so on, and a slightly sharper image? It's again, it's everyone's preference. I'd love to hear down in the comments what you think. What would you go for? That's the whole point of this video. So let's walk on a little bit in performance. You see mid-40s. Do you think this is significantly better than Ultra Performance? Is this what you play at? Okay, so if you like these types of videos and you like these kind of questions being answered, do consider subscribing. This is a growing channel. We're a long way from monetization. It's a very new channel and I'd love your subscription. It'll help in the future get some money in for new equipment, such as this Wacom tablet that I'm using to highlight everything. It's a 4K tablet. It's a lovely device. Okay, we're in Ultra Performance now with the transformer model. Okay, so this is really what we're testing. Now we're testing reflections. Okay, so we've done ghosting and so on. We've done the fine details and aliasing. And now we're looking at things like denoising of reflections, whether there's a delay, a temporal issues with the reflections, that they smear themselves, that they kind of have a delay in resolving. And I don't think that was too bad. Now we're switching over to the CNN model with Ultra Performance. And you'll notice there's much more of a delay when you move around. So it kind of trails after you. And that explains a lot of the smearing, and there's a couple of artifacts that I'll show you now in a second. But you'll just see here now, you'll see the little trails of ghosting every now and again on fine details like grass blades and stuff like that. It depends on the way you move, whether there'll be a trail of smearing or ghosting or not. But, you know, it's not too bad, I suppose. It just depends on the way you move and what you're looking at and so on. But definitely the reflections with the CNN model are quite distracting when there's a significant delay. Okay, so the ray reconstruction is obviously legacy, and it's not quite as good as the new ray reconstruction of DLSS 4. So you see there the level of detail in the reflection. Let's switch now to the transformer model and see, do the reflections look different? I wouldn't say they look massively different. I think ray reconstruction is pretty much the same. It's when you're moving actually is the issue. Okay, so we're back to the CNN model, Ultra Performance. And what we're looking at now is, okay, I'm going to pause here and I'll tell you what we're looking for. We're looking at areas like this light here, okay, these areas here. And the reason I'm looking at them is because as you move around, you'll see those areas of light where there's more light coming through the trees. And you'll see them kind of close up as smearing covers over where they used to be, or where they're going. So it ends up covering over little areas of light. So if I play this on again, just note those areas of light. Okay, so they're less easy to distinguish because of all the trailing, smearing and so on. Now back to the transformer model, and I think they hold up a bit better. Okay, and it's much more consistent with your movement rather than being too much of a delay. Okay, so that's the end of the video. As I said, I'd love to see you subscribe. I'd also love to see a comment down below what you think of Alan Wake 2 with the new DLSS 4 update, and what internal resolution would you play at? Would you play Ultra Performance with the transformer model? Would you sacrifice frame rates and maybe go up to with frame generation to possibly something in the 70s but with more input lag? Or would you rather 60s or 70s with more issues to do with temporal instability and aliasing and so on? So that's it for this video. I'd love to hear your comments down below. What do you think of DLSS 4? Do you think it's transformational? Do you think Ultra Performance at 4K is now viable? Or based on what you saw there, is it still not quite there? Is it really an 8K super resolution mode? Okay, that'll do it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.